Hello, everybody. My name is Dave Finale, and this is Real Estate Talk, TGIF, episode 111. We have an excellent and very, very special show today, very special broadcast, and we're going to bring everybody on, try to do it all at once to see how good I am at technology. I'm really good at it, but sometimes I really suck at it. But anyway, we got the Hudson Wolfpack. We have 7 ladies. They're going to talk about their trials and tribulations over the past 5 to 7 months through COVID and through the pandemic. And here they come.
Real estate agent, are you looking to acquire clients consistently so you can grow your business and your income to live a great lifestyle? This is Dave Finale and the RE Skill Builder podcast.
I did it! I want to welcome everybody to this broadcast. This is Real Estate Skill Builder, TGIF, episode 111. We have gone on the air 109 weeks in a row. We did have 2 extra broadcasts within that 109 weeks. And so we've done, this is the 111th show. I like this show with you guys for a lot of reasons. Number one, I'm so fortunate and thankful that you're here. Number 2, it's episode 111, 111. We're all one, right? We're all number 1. So as we go along, we said it's Real Estate Talk, TGIF, episode 111. You guys know what TGIF stands for?
I do.
I do.
1, 2, 3.
Thank God it's finale.
Thank God it's finale. That is correct. That's correct. So anyway, here we are. We're here to talk about the real estate business. Now, as everybody knows, you'd have to be like in a coma if you didn't know that some things happened after February of this year. And that's called COVID-19. When it hit, it was just like really something. I mean, we all were moving along at our paces and everything else. And there was, I was away when everything hit, and I came back on March 16th. The next day, I went into the office that we used to do work together. It's not a public office because it can't be. It's just a place we meet and work. Nobody was there. I said, okay, this thing must be real because nobody's here, right? Stayed there a few hours, did some work, went back and realized that nothing was going on. We had a hiccup. We had a hesitation. And a lot of the top realtors will admit to that as well. But what happened over the next 4 months, from March 16th March 16th, so that's April, May, June, July, 4 months, right? It was tremendous. There was a hiccup. There was a hesitation. There was fear. There were so many different things going on. And before we get into what you guys went through, I want you to introduce yourself, where you're from, and then we're going to go, then we'll get heavy into this. So let's start with Holjanys. Let's start with you since you're up top there.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I'm Holjanys, as you said, and I am out of Jersey City, New Jersey.
Vanesa.
Vanesa Gonzalez. I'm also from Jersey City, New Jersey.
Jennifer.
Hey, I am Jennifer, and I am in Orlando, Florida.
Tatiana.
Hey, everyone. EXP. I live in Maywood, but I cover Hudson. Woo.
Awesome. Jackie.
Hey, Jackie here, Jersey City and North Bergen.
Awesome. Ada.
Ada Doyle in River Edge, New Jersey.
And Massiel.
Massiel in Clifton, New Jersey.
Clifton, New Jersey. So we've got New Jersey and Florida covered. Now, Florida's a big place. Hey, Jennifer, do you know how many real estate agents are actually in the state of Florida?
That are real estate agents? Yeah, there's close to, well, not the state of Florida, but I can tell you Central Florida with our board, it's close to 17,000 real estate agents.
Do you know that there's almost 1.5 million realtors in the country? And in the state of Florida alone, there are 330,000 realtors. Can you believe it? More than 20% of the realtors in the country are in Florida. And if you're doing this great business that you're doing, you are really shining at the top one. But we're going to get to you in a minute. So let's start talking. I don't know who wants to start, but I want someone to start talking about what the year was when it began for you guys. Where did you start? What's the difference today? What's the difference with January 2020 and July 2020? Because this is the last day of July, it's July 31st. Talk to me about what difference and what transition and transgressions, or not transgressions, but positive things have happened to you? Who wants to start?
I'll start. So when we started in January, I was super excited. January 1st, I remember we had the 2K Wednesday expire day, and I made a ton of contacts. I got a listing. I was ready to kill it for the year. We're doing everything. That was January. Come February, the COVID hit. So it kind of put everything in a pause. And instead of continuing to work, I took the next 3 months off. So
Took the next 3 months off. Holy crap.
So I was scared I was scared for the virus. I was scared from what was going on outside in the world. To me, it felt like the world was going to end. So from February to June, the end of June, I didn't do anything at all. And then July, that's when I decided to come back and start working.
Okay, we're going to get back to your story. Vanessa, how about you?
Same kind of story. January, I was super excited. I actually went door knocking New Year's Day, and I ended up getting a listing through door knocking. And I was pumped for the year. 2020 was gonna be the best year ever. I had my plan, and then I was doing fine, and then COVID hit. Started and then when the school shut down, the last day, March 13th, I think that's when I freaked out. My kid's gonna be home. What am I gonna do? Do I need to get a job? Is real estate over? I really didn't know what was gonna happen. Yeah. And then I kind of just same thing. I was in front of the TV watching the news for about 2 weeks straight. And then I finally said, I got to snap out of this. I was surprised people were still actually doing a couple of things, moving. You still had your essential workers that were still out there and needed to move and do things, buy, sell, or rent. So there was still some activity. And then that's when I found these girls, and we just kind of all, started motivating each other.
Right. I know that our governor was very slow to react to letting us know that we were essential workers. And there was a lot of hesitation on a lot of parts. The boards didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to say. And honestly, when I say that, I'm not putting any blame on anybody, because I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to go back and say, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. We have nothing to guide us from. And anybody who made a decision, I give them a lot of credit for actually making decisions, right? So anyway, so Jennifer, what about you? What was the year like when you started in Orlando?
Honestly, I was doing deals. I think I didn't start really getting worried until I started going to the grocery. I don't watch much TV. I don't watch much TV. So my mom called me like, Mama, did you get your toilet paper? Like, what are you talking about? And then she kind of told me at that time, I think up north, you guys had it worse than what we had it.
We did.
We were still considered essential workers. So we were still, able to do business during the COVID. But what I will say is when I hit those grocery stores, I really did started freaking out. Like, I don't know. I didn't know that the uncertainty was real. I didn't know what was going to happen. And it was challenging figuring out a rhythm because Rudy, my son, was staying at home doing school while I had to work. And it's just, I don't have a home office. At that time, I didn't have a home office. It was really, as a single mom, it was really, really, there was a whole bunch of fear that was happening. Started off good. Then, the COVID thing happens and it gets serious in Florida. And you really don't know what to think at that point. You really don't.
Right. What about you, Tatiana?
So we did 10K Wednesday, that New Year's Day. I remember being there. It was Honey. Finale was there. I don't know. There was like 20 or 30 of us coming in and out throughout the day because we did 10K Wednesday for the first. And that was exciting. We had some, business partners comes on and sort of chit chat and set goals and say, okay, this is what we want to do. This is how we're going to do it. Here's a business plan and sort of small attainable goals for quarter one to try and get everything moving into quarter two. And then everything happened. I remember March 13th was the last day that the kids had school. and it was half a day. So I dropped off at like 8 and picked up by like 11:30 or like noon. And then the next week it was like, okay, so how do I do this? I had become a teacher and a cook full time and a realtor full time. Like, how am I going to manage all of these jobs simultaneously all at once? And it started becoming overwhelming trying to figure out, all right, so how safe is it to go out and actually still do business while keeping my family safe, and also my kids safe? And well, how am I going to go out and not take them with me? Or I can't have a babysitter come. So how do I do this? Like trying to figure out the logistics of who do you leave the kids with to try and still get business done. And that was like a freaking out point. And probably froze like 2 or 3 weeks trying to figure that out.
Okay. What about you, Jackie?
I mean, similar to all the ladies here. Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, cool. Yeah, similar to all the ladies. I had picked up some steam January, February, even up to the last day of March. I remember when the mayor said, okay, we're shutting down, and the governor said we're shutting down Jersey last day. And then I was like, okay, I rented out 2 apartments that day. And I was like, this is it. I got to close this shit up. And I remember I had picked up a listing. I was under contract. I had picked up a couple of listings that were coming soon that because of COVID, the sellers decided not to do anything. We didn't know what was going to happen. So, I mean, it did hit a nerve. I didn't know where this was going. Thankfully, we were able to fall back on you and Sekou to help guide us with the back end of things.
Thank you.
I think that during COVID, I really focused on the back end of the business with, getting organized, making calls, contacting people, making sure they're okay and they had everything that they needed. So that was mainly my focus, is to just still be in people's top of mind of different, past clients, so that if they did need me, I would make myself available. And that was pretty much my focus. I pretty much worked from home and didn't leave for a good 2-3 months, but I was still able to get some deals done that way, and I was shocked.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jackie. Ada, what about you?
So I had, when COVID happened, it was like a little over 3 years that I had been a realtor. I had been doing real estate full time the entire time, as in at any moment of any day, my phone would be ringing and I would honor that request or be showing that property. But throughout that 3 years, I had taken on other jobs and had pretty much an actual full-time position with flexibility that, let me do both at the same time. And when COVID came around, I remember the first thought being like, I've never been so thankful for a full-time job right now.
Right.
Like, oh my gosh, like I had been resenting this. I had resigned twice in the last year and a half, had replacements that didn't work out, and was afraid to leave my team high and dry until I knew somebody was going to be taking over those things that I'd be responsible for, because in a territory that's 2 hours away, it's just not fair to leave people that you've trusted, that trust you, or however, I was working with them for 7 years or something like that. So it was a vulnerable position for me to try to leave. And when all this happened, then all of a sudden I was like, oh, wow, maybe this is like my answer. This is what I was supposed to do, is stay so I could at least be able to take care of my family. But then considering, my role was, I used to be a nurse, doing patient care in long-term care centers, but had evolved into this role of working for a long-term care pharmacy. And my job was to go into nursing homes. They were my customer. But I was not an essential worker anymore, even though I was a nurse, because I was more of a customer service role and a vendor for the nursing homes. Right. So I went from thankful for this full-time job, real estate, not even a thought of what's going to happen with real estate. Just thankful that I have this full-time job to laid off of that full-time job because I wasn't allowed to do that job anymore. And I was like, okay, so I have 2 transactions right now, or I had 1 transaction pending. And I needed to figure out like, I don't want to just be part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. I don't want to just be sit here, no job, figure out but how do I start? I've done only referral business for 3 years, loved every stinking second of it. And maybe some of those clients wouldn't even know that I had a different job at the same time, because in my mind, I was always working on real estate. But what I didn't realize that I really wasn't always working on the business. I was being, this real estate helper that worked out for me. And it was, I guess, a hobby. I hate to even say that out loud. And because people always say either, like, if it's not your business, like, you're not treating like it's just a hobby. And I would be like so offended 2 years ago if anybody said that, because at 11 o'clock at night, when I would rather be asleep, that's not your hobby when you're making sure that things get done for a certain transaction. So I just needed to make a change. And instead of like aggressively making that change and knowing what it was, I just, if I had a brick and mortar office, what I did was I closed the door and I put the sign on it that said, closed until further notice, because I didn't know what to do at all. Closed until further notice. And one of my clients needed to actually, when that minimum FICO increased to 640 from 620. I had somebody who fell in the middle of that if they weren't under contract by April 30th, they would not qualify for a home anymore. And this was the very beginning of everything. And I had to take that family and get them into a home, even though I had already decided that I don't even know if this can be something that I can, make a business. With the help of everybody, like the listing agent, the family was great, sight unseen, FaceTime showing, they put their offer in, they were under contract before 4:30, and they ended up moving into that home without ever seeing the interior of the home. But that actual transaction made my mind realize that even though I wasn't the one that generated that scenario, it was there for me to see that it was possible to do, and that over the next however long, we're all going to need to do something like this. So, as that transaction progressed, I started being a little bit more proactive and started to actually, listen to the things that people were saying online, listen to you, listen to Sekou, which I had never done before. And one day, literally, I had my earbud in my ear. I know I talk like for 25 hours about everything. So the story could be like 2 seconds, but it's already too long. But I had my earbud in my ear and I was making dinner and I was listening to every single word of the 10K Wednesday with Sekou, only because I couldn't figure out what the 10K meant. I was just listening, like, what are they talking about? 10K, for literally almost like 2 hours, until I heard Holjanys speak about this accountability group. And I thought to myself, like, accountability group, I'm like trying to pull up the screen, trying to look at these people, trying to figure it out. I texted Sekou on the side, like, what's that girl's name? I don't know how to pronounce it. Spell it phonetically? I don't know what to and that very moment of connecting with this group of people, because I didn't know what I needed until it hit me in the face. And that's, where we are, why I'm here.
That's right.
And could not have been any more grateful for that very unknown factor that just felt like it was literally sent to me.
So for you, it's been a month. That's it, right? That you've known these people.
Almost exactly. Yep. July 1st. Yep.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Hold your thoughts. Let's go to Massiel. Your turn. Tell us about you and how you got to this group and where you started and where you are now.
Okay. So at the beginning of the year in January, I was a little bit sick. However, I was determined to make it. So I took the KB Bold program, And I finished that. At that time, I was working with one investor. He was new. Unfortunately, we tried a couple of lenders and Harmony lenders, and we couldn't get him a loan at that time because of COVID. I just after that I just continue making phone calls and trying to find buyers. I try to pre-approve other buyers, but everything was in standby. People were very scared about COVID-19, and they didn't want to make a move in real estate. And that's what happened. And then I found I knew Seku, and I was following Seku in Facebook a long time ago with a 2K Wednesday. And then another EXP colleague of mine, who isn't here with us right now, she told me about, Seku again, how great this group is and everything. And she explained me how EXP Realty can help me in my career. And, I decided to make the move, and I make the move. And that's how, where I am right now.
Awesome. So I want to talk about, we've talked about where we were, where we've come from, right? Where we came to. But I believe in one way, shape, or form, everybody was at the same place. Yes, some were doing more business than the others. Some were not, right? And then we've gone from uncertainty. We've gone from, excuse the word, laziness, to certainty, productivity, to consistency, to downright commitment through the 4 C's of commitment, which are commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. It seems like in a very short period of time, all of you have done that circle. Talk to me about that. What was the switch? I always talk about the switch. I spoke with a friend of mine, Greg Harrelson, down in South Carolina a few months ago, and I said, why do people not want to get on the phone? What is the switch? What makes them want to do it? What makes them successful at it? And he said they were prepared. Now, I believe you guys were always prepared. You just didn't do it. So tell me, I don't care who answers, what was the switch?
For me, it was not falling into the average realtor category. I was like, I'm going to make it through whatever the hell the world's going through. Sorry for the bad word, but I was like, whatever, I'm going to do whatever it takes to really like be the realtor that's standing when the market shifts, like there were so many people around me, at least out here, there were so many realtors that I know that I was even trying to reach out and uplift that they ended up getting a job, like doing all kinds, like wherever they, like whatever job they took it because of their fear. And I had my suffering time, and then I was like, oh hell no, this is not me. Slap, wake up, let's go. And for me, the commitment came because I was like, I have a kid and I need to show him when we're faced with adversity, like what it's really about, what you're really supposed to do. And that's usually what it boils down to for me. That's when I just turned on the switch and started hitting the phones and heard Seku and Live with Leaders and was like, holy cow, I need that in my life. And then that's how I got to meet all these beautiful women. But yeah, committed just because it was just the fear of being average. I just didn't want that.
I think the interesting thing about you and me is that you and I connected about something completely different several months ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And then all of a sudden, a couple months later, I see you on this, and it's, oh, okay, fine, that's great, that's fantastic. But one of the things I want to ask you about, Jennifer, in particular, is that yesterday, the day before, you did a video about wake up agents, about down payment assistance.
I might have pissed some people off, but it's the reality.
I hope you did. But you inspire some people that I know that ain't doing shit that want to be just like Jennifer Encarnacion. Right?
I mean, I did. I afterwards, I was like, that was probably too much, but
no,
like whatever.
Not enough. So here's the question: Is that something you would have done 4 months ago, or is that the new Jennifer?
No. That 4 months ago, I wasn't even in the right headspace to. No, I wouldn't have did that.
So you have upped your game in integrity. You've upped your game in let's do this right.
That's
now,
true.
somebody else tell me, what was the switch? Give me a switch. Give me another switch.
I'm going to give you a switch. It was like a whole bunch of switches got turned on. If you can imagine a row of light switches for like a whole house, and they just like all turned on for me. The switch for me when COVID hit was looking at the panic in the world and me just deciding that wasn't going to be me. I wasn't going to be frozen. I was just going to turn on that switch and join in with Sekou and the group with, 10K Wednesday, just the everyday prospecting, and then the training with Kevin Ward that Lou Ramos shared with us. Now, I noticed a change in one of us, in one of our behaviors. I'm looking at her right now. She's smiling. She knows who she is. I noticed her change in behavior. She was showing up. She was really good. The FISBO queen, we call her. And all of a sudden, she switched up on us. I don't know what happened. She just went dark. I guess she went through a funk, and I sniffed it out. So reaching out to her kind of gave me a little bit of purpose. And I was like, you know what? I need this too. And I think Tatiana noticed it as well. And that's how we got together. And they brought on Vanesa. I think, Vanesa, you guys were already speaking with the girls. So that's what turned on the switch. We need each other. And that's, I think, gives me more purpose, knowing that I have these beautiful, strong women relying on me, and I'm relying on them to show up every day, get it done. Let's make it happen.
That's called accountability, and it's the one thing that most agents do not want. I want an accountability partner. I need help with accountability, but you know what? They're all full of shit. They're not doing it. You guys just all of a sudden said, you know what? You reached out for each other. You grabbed onto each other. You had a glue that came together. Somebody else, give me another switch.
So the girls turned on my switch, as you heard. So in those days that were just on my couch, I would literally turn on the Zoom call, turn off the camera, and lay down on my couch and not do anything. That needs to be out. So I think it was a Memorial Day, Tatiana, that we were sitting on your living room. So Tatiana and I were sitting on her dining room table, and we started talking. I started talking like, I need to do something, where we're like we're not moving, we're not doing this shit. And that's when we came up with the idea of having the accountability group. And I even said, okay, and if whoever doesn't show, we're like, starting tomorrow, because Tatiana was like, when are we gonna start? I said tomorrow. And I said, and whoever doesn't show is going to have to give $10. And she just made a face. And I was like, well, I'll give $10 like nothing. I'm like, $10. And we're like, bitch, here's your $10. And I'll go to bed. And she was like, oh, let's do 100. And then, and then Vanessa joined. We started talking to Vanessa. Jackie was at the same time reaching out to me, trying to find out what was going on. You're not yourself. Lou was even calling me. It was awesome. They helped my
the best accountability group is us. I'm just saying, these ladies are absolutely the best, like hands down. I've been a part of a few, and this is
so I heard that you use an accountability app. Talk to that.
Yes, we started, but we're still trying to figure it out.
For anyone that wants to try to figure it out, it's called what? Spar?
Spar?
Yeah.
Spar. Yeah. I think we owe Spar like $8,000 or something right now because we have.
But here's the question that one would want. Okay, so we talked about your fears. We talked about the lethargy that came over you. We talked about holy shit. But talk to me about what worked for you. Articulate your system to me as to, okay, so you had the bullshits, and then you had the epiphany moment, right? Let's call it an epiphany moment. And then what did you do to get it going? Because you all were doing shit before. Well, not all you, but you know what I mean. Now you're doing like, holy crap. People don't believe. Actually, there are people that don't want to come on Commitment to Capping because they fear the accountability of 4 appointments a day. Let's talk about that. What were your systems? What did you do? How did you do it?
Well, we started.
So,
what did you do individually to build your business, to get the appointments every day, to start doing business, like the top 1% do, because that's where you're at, guys, believe it or not. If you say to anybody 4 appointments a day, they say, holy shit. There was an ad on Facebook last week that I saw that they were talking about we will help you get 5 appointments a week. And I posted in that thing, says that I said 5 appointments that's a week. That's really good. I work with a group that does 4 appointments a day. Let's see, you're 5. That's 20. Let me help you.
Right.
So,
I think that's all in the morning. It's all about your morning. What are you doing?
It's all about your morning.
Yeah.
So we start by waking up
in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
It starts with the morning.
Go ahead, Becky. Finish. But I definitely don't want to forget my thought on the morning thing.
Go.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I didn't. I thought Jackie was still talking. I never realized. My whole life, I can't even tell you how many times I've told people I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I'm never going to be a morning person. What I didn't realize is I'm not the first 14 seconds of the morning person. And I would let that first 14 seconds that stopped last until, 9 o'clock or something like that. I forgot that on that 2K Wednesday, when you guys said, if you don't show up for our 6 o'clock call, our 6 o'clock FaceTime, if you're not there, you owe the group or someone, I forget, $100. And I was like, that's what I need. I need to know that there's going to be something that's sacrificed if I don't do, even though I want it for myself, I needed some ultimatum. And the routine of waking up, which now we're 5:30, but looking at each other's faces, we look like not like we're ready to work. We look like we literally might still actually be asleep, but we see each other, we make sure each other are awake, then we go on our way. Some of us do our workout, some of us get ready for whatever, some of us shower, get whatever. And then we role play together from 7 to 8. And after that, we lead gen together in an environment like this from 8:30 to 11 with a bunch of other agents as well. But that series of events in the morning before 11 o'clock, like that accountability, that expectation of not wanting to disappoint other people. If you're somebody who has a hard time holding yourself accountable, like I used to, I'd write things on the calendar, and if it didn't get done, I would just move it to the next day. If it didn't get done, I would just move it to the next day. And now we literally make sure that we are doing every single thing that we set out to do, and make sure we get pissed off at each other if we know that other person is not doing it. And I now know that if I continue to do this same thing, if I don't want to do it for myself, I'm doing it for them. It's almost like in a motherly way. Like sometimes you don't really want to be doing what you're doing for your kids, but you love them, and in order to motivate them, you have to be that role model for them to see, even when you're not feeling it.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and I not that I feel like I'm anyone's mother, but I feel like we're all kind of that mother to each other in that way. We put ourselves aside, what we kind of feel like at that moment doing, and we do what we need to do for not just ourselves. Many days it's for ourselves, but sometimes it's for somebody else that we can see that really needs, that accountability. And going from not doing any of that to doing that, the predictability of my day and what I'm creating for the next X amount of days, going forward is actually there. There was nothing there before.
So one of the things you just said, Ada, and everything you said was awesome, right on point. It was really great. And one of the things I want to say is that Holjanys and I were talking before about leadership and stuff before everybody else came on. But what I think you've just articulated was that what you've done is you've actually articulated a system of leadership for each other, that you lead each other, which I think is amazing. And I do want to hear from Tatiana and Massiel, because we do have a special guest that's going to come on with us in a few minutes, but I want to hear from Tati and Massiel first about the switch and articulate your system and what worked for you and all this. If you can, just give it a shot quickly. Start with Massiel.
Okay. So for me, the switch, this being on your own and being in business for yourself is a process. I decided at the beginning of this year that I wanted to really be in business, and do the things that I need to do to excel in this career, because I don't want to go back to work for somebody else. I wasn't happy in doing that. And then so that's a switch for me. And then I think that a lot of successful people, the 1%, the 1% people that make it, they all start in the morning. The morning routine for them is very important. So I wanted always to wake up at 6 a.m. And actually I want to start waking up at 5, but that will be in the future. Let's take things step by step.
Be careful what you say, or I'll be calling you tonight.
But yeah, so I always wanted to wake up at 6. And thank God for this accountability group, because once I started, it has been waking up every day, waking up at 6 a.m. Sorry, and holding myself accountable and starting my morning routines like that. So whatever you do in the morning is gonna prepare you for the afternoon, for the night. That's what I believe.
That's great. And Tati, what about you? What was that switch? What was the reasoning for your excellence anew?
So there was a couple of things. We did talk about getting Ohani sort of back into the rhythm. And what I did is I took her on sort of like my mentee kind of thing, because I wanted her to stay in business and to keep going. And I knew that she wasn't doing what she needed to, right? And then I remember that I sort of utilized her to also keep myself sane and focused and grounded. So even though I was, are you up? Let's do this. Like, let's make phone calls. Did you follow up with that lead? Because we also bounce a lot of things off of each other. So I sort of took her in to sort of keep myself grounded and to not have to focus on the outside world and all the other things, right? So that was the switch. And then me and Vanessa and Holjanys had already been role-playing with each other. And we were, and then Jackie came in because she was reaching out to Holjanys. And so we all sort of lit each other up. We literally was like, boom. And we kept going. And then Jan had been with us at Commitment to Tapping, and then she got really busy. And then we noticed that she had fell off. And also taking her on, being like, all right, what's going on? That also sort of kept me grounded and kept me going. So being able to not have to just focus on the outside, but being able to keep other people accountable and being in integrity to be able to keep them accountable, because I can't keep them accountable if I'm not doing what I say I'm supposed to be doing. And just kept going. And then Ada came on like a week later, and then Massiel came on like a week later, because everybody in Commitment to Tapping started seeing that we were coming back. We were just doing absolutely everything we all needed to. And I think that we all feel a little bit of each other. So we're sarcastic, we're cranky, whatever it is, but we all feel a little bit of everything that we all need. And the best thing is being able to sort of come back to the center, to the most important part, and saying, okay, this is what we need to get back to. So I think for me, the switch was, all right, since I have to also keep other people accountable,
right,
I need the integrity to be able to do that.
That's phenomenal. I am honored to have been just a really little part of this. I'm going to tell you that since I've met you all one by one and piece by piece, as you know, I've been in the business a couple of years, and I've always worked with a group of people that, it was like the 5, and then the 25%, the 20%, and then the 70% and the 5%, which meant there was 5% did really well, 20% did okay, and the rest nothing, right? And I'm blessed to have been working with all of those people, whether they produced or not. But when I came and started working with all of you, and then working with our special guest next, you guys are very special guests, but he's going to add to it.
Yeah, like who is this?
I was going to
coming on in a second. I'm giving him an intro here, right? And the collaboration in our group, in the people we talk to that are all over the country, and not just Commitment to Capping, everybody, especially this guy, has helped me. And I want to thank you guys for helping me, and I want to thank him. But I also know that one of the things I want you all to know is you all had it in you. People, everybody here helped bring it out. So I want to bring on my friend and my coach, Sekou Pyle. So
I knew it.
What's up, y'all?
The only thing we need to help Sekou with is technology, because his isn't working too well today.
Yeah, so I was on my Mac, and all of a sudden, it just stopped.
Oh no!
So I had to go to my Galaxy, my Android, in order to make this happen. You know what, ladies? The thing that I don't know what happened to you guys disappeared. All right, so the thing that strikes me as consistent with all of you is, if I may, all of you have said that you do not want the ordinary. You don't want the average. You don't want what other people have said your limitations are. And it really, really makes our job easier in coaching and training and regenerating, et cetera, that you guys are obsessed with being the best. So from the outside looking in, the switch that I think happened is that you just said you were going to do it and you did it. That you guys made the decision to just believe what everyone else can see clearly. Everyone else can see clearly that you guys are the absolute best. And it just took you guys to believe that the PR was real for it to really, really move it forward. We talked about, I was in the background the whole time, right? So I heard you guys talk about commitment to capping and the XP, this and that, and the other thing, and blah, 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 blah. The thing that I see overall is that you guys are telling your story from the inside out. Every day you get up, some days you don't feel like it, and it's easy for one person to give up. It's very easy for one person to give up. It's actually easier for two people to forgive each other for giving up. But once you have that community of three or more, the idea of giving up goes out the window, because the entire community needs each other in order to use each other in order to grow. So that's what I see. I see fellowship, I see community, I see the pack, and then I see that when one is down, there's 4 and 5 and 6 arms picking that person up. So I don't know. That's what I see. I don't have a lot of questions for them today. I have a lot of. I don't know if I can say that I am proud of all of them, then I will, because I'm proud of you.
I think that you're a liar that you don't have any questions. I don't think there's ever been a moment in your life that you do not have questions.
I'm a know nothing agent. I have to have questions. I do have one question.
See?
I do have one question. Ready? I do have one question. What's next for you? What's August look like for you all?
Greatness.
Greatness.
Anybody else?
Well, how are you going to grow from there? I mean, you guys are doing amazing stuff. I'm looking at numbers right now. Yes, I am still looking at numbers. But I'm looking at numbers right now. And what I want to know is what you're going to do to grow. Anybody?
I think consistency, right? And obviously everything we've been talking about. Finalizing, closing, making sure that we have our systems for closing, making sure that no matter what is there, and just sticking with it, whether it's one of us, whether it's 4 of us that are down or whatever, being able to continuously keep pushing ourselves and holding ourselves accountable to the full extent of the work. And whatever that system is, whether it's $100, whether it's helping the other person, whether it's you're Honey's 10 appointments, or the 6 pendings, or what out in a month, whatever that is, that everybody is clear on what it is that we want, and we do small steps every day to get to that goal. Because I think that what we've been doing is just setting our small steps more clear and defining them to be able to know exactly what path we need to walk in to be able to get to our Wizard of Oz, right? So finding what the yellow line looks like, where it turns, where you pivot, where you go right or whether you go left, and then getting there.
Did you just do a Dorothy and the Oz reference?
Yeah, did.
That's my girl.
So I'm lying. I do have another couple of questions. Shut up, Ada. Right. So next question. I know there's a lot of people out there who have experienced the same kind of ups and downs that you all have experienced. Will you invite other people? Can other people be a part of your accountability group? And do you have minimum standards for them to be a part of it?
We have minimal standards, definitely.
So I have a question. I want to add on to that. I noticed that that you don't allow men into your group.
Right.
Okay, imagine this. We're waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning and doing a video call.
Yeah, what's your point?
No. Nobody wants no men looking at that. No.
That's like women's locker room.
One time they called and I was
Ada, you look great.
We can help the men start their own group. They're not coming into ours.
That's awesome, Holjanys. That was good. Yeah, we can start their own group.
Look at Ada with the visual aid.
So I just want to segue into a question we're getting from a buddy of mine, Pete Kopak. He says, "What is greatness to you?"
Greatness to me.
And that goes along with what Sekou was saying. Greatness to all of you. What is greatness? You Sekou asked the question about what does August hold for you. You say great things. What is greatness to you? What is greatness to all of you? And where do you want to?
Wait, does everybody hear that? Okay.
Yeah.
So greatness to me is, so last week I decided that I was going to have a minimum number of appointments of 10.
Right.
So greatness
I
to
think we
me,
should
and
all match that.
huh?
We should all
But
be matching that.
Yeah,
So,
I think so too.
That's my
inspiring.
minimum. Listen. And,
All right.
and ever since Friday, I've been meeting it. I didn't meet it yesterday. So greatness to me is meeting those appointments, and not only meeting those appointments, but the business that I get out of it, to close it, get it done, convert it, and just get it done smoothly.
Well, that's one of the tools you have to be good at. Let's like in baseball, you got to be able to pitch, throw, field, whatever it is, hit everything. You got to be able to get the customer. You also got to be able to convert them to a contact, a connection, an appointment, a house showing, as well as to a closing.
A contract and
There's
a closing.
so many conversions you've got to do. That's where the greatness is. Am I right?
Right. That's exactly what the great. And another thing that I think is greatness to me personally is being able to help all these ladies, and whoever else wants to see me as an example, to achieve their greatness and to get to where they want to be. So and at the same time, it's helping me, because since I want them to be great, I'm gonna make sure that I'm great and lead by example.
Well, I propose that we call it the August 20.
August 20.
That we each put 20 properties under contract in August.
Okay.
Okay.
Why are you girls so silent? Let's
get this done.
I think we just named it the August 20.
August 20.
We went from August 20 to August 20, right? Is that where we just did that?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes,
And
man.
let's just envision what the 21 is going to be.
Yes.
Let's see what the 21 is.
So let's make that happen. We've been working very hard on a deal a day, and I have to say that each one of you has flipped the switch and made the decision to do it, and all of you have been exceeding the expectations of the minimums. And I'll say this to the world: if you are smart and you want to get into a circle of powerful agents. Reach out to any one of these agents on this broadcast and try to get into their circle. You want to be in their circle. You want to be in their world. You want to be in their universe. Because all I have seen during this COVID thing is growth. Everyone else shrunk. These ladies grew. These ladies, they said, bring it the fuck on. And so what I'm saying is if you want to grow, if you want to be a part of a universe that's growing, you're the sum total of your 5 closest, well, count it out. Count it out.
Right.
There's a bunch on here.
That's right. That's right. I mean, what I see here is I don't see anything but a whole bunch of freaking confidence. I see people. I'm just looking down at Ada, right? Because Ada's on the bottom of my screen on the left. Look at her. Look at the smile. You can tell a fierce smile from a confident smile.
Yes.
I saw your smiles months ago. I saw your smiles a year ago. Your smiles are much different now.
I agree.
Dude, right? It's called confidence. And that takes a lot of work. And
I
want to repeat to a point what the teacher said. If there's anybody watching this, they'll watch it now, they'll watch it later, that does not have a group to work with, or they want to emulate something, this is the group to emulate. And I'm going to be honest. You're never going to be perfect, but you keep striving for it.
We make a mess.
What I one of the things is too with the listen, first of all, I want to thank all you guys. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and y'all took me and adopted me to be one of yours, and I really appreciate that. So thank you. But one of the things I want to say though is that we're all vulnerable. Like when one's crying, we're all crying together. When one's not on, we're teaming up to figure. I wouldn't forget that I was going through a little emotional patch, and Tatiana reached out to me. Then Jackie reached out to me, and I had a conversation with both of them. Everybody is like, we're real with each other. We go through real things, but we all pick back up and help each other out of it so we can restart the next morning. And I get the chills talking about it because in this business, I've been doing this for 6 years. That's been my biggest struggle is I get all out of whack the next day and I can't follow my calendar because I'm in an emotional rut at home. But being part of this group, that's the growth that I've had. This has only been about a month for me, but being part of this group, that's the growth that I've had. And I'm super grateful because that was one of my weakest points. It's like they pick me up, we all get picked up together. And then I miss them. If I'm not on one morning, I'm like, damn, I miss these girls. And I just want to them throughout the day.
We pick up each other's moods. Like Tatiana notices when I'm grumpy, and then she'll call me on the side. What's wrong with you? You didn't have coffee today? Why are you so moody?
It's so true.
Did you eat? Did you sleep?
This morning we started role playing, and she said something. I'm like, "What's wrong?
Did you sleep?"
Did you sleep? Sorry.
Let me interrupt really quickly, right? Because I'm going to give you guys your space. What I always ask when Finale allows me to come on and I get to speak to the powerful people that he interviews, he's had some of the top minds and souls in the industry on this show, and I have to say that you've surpassed yourself today, bud. Because there's a lot of power on this show. Exactly. So what I always ask before I get off, because I always jump off because I'm counting your numbers, and my phone is ringing. My phone never stops ringing, guys. The leads are coming in like crazy, right? So what I always ask folks is, how do I help you? What can I do, and how do I help you get to what your next level is? What is it that how can I help?
That is such a not fair, extremely loaded question.
He's always asking that question.
Right?
Because I don't have 48 hours.
Make sure I slow down. That's how you can help.
10 appointments a day.
What you say, Jack?
10 appointments a day. I need help.
Yeah.
I just like the tough love you give us. You know what I mean? Like that's real. Like, and I don't know about you ladies, but that works for me so well. Like
that works for me.
Like let me know. And also, I mean, the ladies do this so good, but it's like the whole critiquing on my tonality, like it's so different. You don't get that detail information and just trainings, like upswing, downswing. Now all I hear everywhere are downswings or upswings because I'm focused on everybody's tonality around me.
Right.
But those things I learned so much. Let's keep on going.
8 o'clock.
No, I think to keep giving us our
That's
Hey, Tati.
I think just giving us your tough love. I think we all agree that, you know, we love the tough love. Keep giving us these super big, like almost excruciating hard to think about goals and keeping us accountable the way that you do. And just you showing up is change, I think.
Yeah.
And teaching us how to do these intros.
That's a finale question.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said, and teaching us how to do these intros so we can do them.
Monkey, what about you? You've been real quiet. What about you?
Me,
How can Sekou and I help you?
well, I knew Sekou before, and you know, I always think that he's one of the greatest. And to be coached by him, it actually makes me. I'm honored by it, and I think that he's teaching me. Like for example, I'm very like if you guys can see, I'm very quiet.
She talks like this all the time.
So this, you know, and I'm okay with it, you know, because it's a cool, you know, who else can tell you about it? Who else can speak with you to you about this, you know? And if you want to be coached by anybody, for me it would be Sekou. And I'm think, you know, for me to be in EXP and also be with these ladies and with Sekou is the greatest thing I could ever did in this 2020. And I know that with this group, and if I continue persisting and committing to my goals, I'm gonna grow with this group and with Sekou. So
We got your back.
That's it. That's
thank
it.
you.
So I want to thank all of you guys for a lot of things. I mean, being able to be, as I said, a little part of this, and being able to learn from you. I mean, believe it or not, we've collaborated on a lot of different things. I've gotten a lot of different ideas and things, and Jackie and I are actually collaborating on a project. Which is just about done, and
I can't wait to hear or know or something.
So you know, at the end of the show, and Jackie, I hope you looked at what I sent you because it's there. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming on, and the last thing, Sekou asked that question of what we can do to help you. You gave us that opportunity. You give us that opportunity every night, and so I know. One of the things that I heard from you guys this week when I kind of like approached you and you guys approached me over the month and wanted to get on because you all wanted something from me. And I said, I can't do it because you haven't been on the show.
I'm here for one thing. That's it. Dang hat.
We're only here for the hat.
All right.
The
Not only you're getting a hat, all of you, but it's a limited edition hat, the one that Sekou had.
The limited edition.
They're all signed.
Nice.
TGIF on it. So that said, guys, I want to thank you so much for being on today. Please all stay on as we go off, right? And hopefully I can do this really well. But you guys are the bomb. You guys are excellent. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your lives.
Thank you.
That little way.
Thank you for pouring into us.
Thank you.
What's that?
Thank you goes anywhere.
I wanted to thank you for always pouring into us and taking the time to, anytime I have a question, anytime I have whatever it is, I know that I can reach out to you or say, or the girls, but anything that I don't feel that I have the answer to or anything, I always feel that no matter what, I can reach out to you and you want to be able to like, okay, I can do it at this time. And you have always been so open and willing to help. And I love that about you. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
We all feel
Thank
the same.
you.
I just want to help you guys. That's all I want. Hey, guys.
No, say you're not leaving. I need to say one thing.
Go ahead.
There is a special thing that is like in your DNA. Because in a room full, well, this is our version of a room now, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a room full of, especially like on our our APM check-in call to see like how we've measured up to what we expected of ourselves. You have the ability to recognize in every single one of us what we measure as our success. And I don't know how. I never even realized how I measured my success until I met you. And I don't even know that you did anything specific because I tried to figure it out. But you understand how people measure their successes differently. Like, it's very 101 as a realtor to be able to pick up the phone and call somebody and tell them that you want to help them buy or sell their house. Everybody would say, like, if you can't do that, you really shouldn't be a realtor. But I was never able to do that for some reason. And just by giving me the permission to completely make a mess. Whatever it is that I'm doing, I haven't really made a mess. I've said, okay, let me screw this up, but I haven't really screwed anything up. Go make a mess on calling for sale by owners in Illinois because I'm never going to list their house, right? I'm going to have that conversation and I'm going to make a mess. When I have that conversation, I think to myself, like, should I actually just get my license in Illinois? Because that works really well. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it is invaluable. The immeasurable part of you has been able to help me measure, a success. And that feels really good going from a non-business person to now an official business person. And you guys are like definitely.
It's a family.
No more words.
I'll tell you the secret. We're driving Finale crazy. We're messing with his schedule right now, right? But I'll tell you the secret. It's the bell. I wish I could take credit for it, but it's the bell. You all love the bell. Okay, the bell is
magic
really
bell.
It drives us. We love the bell. The bell loves you. Thank you. I appreciate you. We grow together.
I appreciate all of you, one and all. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be involved. And you know what? I'm going to keep doing whatever I can to help you guys.
It's the crew.
Let's just rock on. Thanks a lot. Stay on, guys, real quick. We're going to take off. Thanks, everybody, for coming. This is Real Estate Talk TGIF episode 111. Next week, we have the marketing expert, Dan Lesniak, on with us on August 7th. Thank you very much.
Oh, the horse mask. Dan, you better bring
Thank you.
and have a horse mask, baby. Please.